Yeah.
Is that gonna part of the video? I have to eat this? No?
You
No,
have
I'm
to
gonna
eat
taste
it.
it, of course, you know.
You have to eat it. It's like a signature staple here,
All right.
and it is the best cupcake ever.
All right, I'm
I will
curious
say
now.
that.
The box is really cute, so.
Yeah, and then it comes with special instructions. So,
All right. Fellow tennis nerds, I'm here with Sarah. She's been on the podcast, and back then she talked about a new company she was starting in tennis, and now it's here, and you might have seen it on her Instagram or on the actual company Instagram, which you have, which is called Richsport. So, how did you come up with the idea? And then we get into what is it. We're going to unbox this box. But first of all, like, what was the starting point for Richsport?
Richsport came about, well, actually, the name came about in like the first day. It was based on me getting teased growing up playing tennis in public schools, and it was like that nerdy sport. So
Yeah.
they would make fun of me and say, "Oh, you play that rich sport," because obviously it's an expensive sport. So we decided that's going to be something that we're going to change the narrative, and that the real rich is to feel good, have fun, and play happy. And that's our tagline and that's our motto. So those are the things that truly make you feel rich, because literally I've seen like some of the richest people and they're so miserable. But yet you see them on the tennis court and they're actually happy. So we were like, you know what? We want to give that vibe. We want to make sure that that's what our mission statement is.
Cool. I like the backstory. It's really interesting because like you're taking a word and you want to change its meaning, which I think is good. It's like the whole idea with tennis nerd is like a nerd was partly a negative connotation.
Yeah.
But now these days when everybody is into something, like a geek for something, I think it's turning into a more of a positive thing to be like into
Nerds
whatever
are
it is.
cool.
Exactly. That's what we're saying. And this is where you know you're turning this the sport of tennis has this stigma around it, like it's just for rich people.
Yes.
And you make it more fun, grassroots. That's the whole branding idea, right? So it's cool.
Yeah, everything is grassroots. Just Nicole and I, who's my childhood best friend, and she grew up as a rec player and a coach. And obviously, I did the competitive aspect. So just bringing in both of our visions and putting it together with this to create all the fun things that we felt was lacking in tennis and still is lacking.
Yep.
Because it's like the way that it's marketed towards one demographic, and we really wanted to make it more inclusive and more fun and more vibrant and just more welcoming. And that's the number one thing that we've gotten as the feedback is people that never thought of playing tennis now want to play tennis because they're like, oh, this looks so fun, tennis must be fun. And I'm like, wait until you play.
Yeah.
Especially if you play singles. So it's been a mission for sure.
It is a mission. Everything in tennis requires a little bit more thought because it's like so stuck in its ways in many ways, right? Like tennis is a really like a sport of tradition and it's strong. So you have to kind of battle it against generations and how things are made, and then you know it takes some time. But
yeah, and everything's in-house. So Nicole hand designs everything we
Awesome,
talk about. She's a super talented designer, 10 plus years of experience, and we just talk about things. And it's the weirdest things that we send one another and we're just such on the same page. And I'm like, I sent you that like 3 weeks ago, and she was like, oh yeah, you sent me that. So it's like we're basically the same person but so different.
cool.
Like we showcase how different we are, but again, same when it comes to values and things that we want to accomplish and do and give back.
Nice. Now it must be great to do it with your like best friend. Like it must be
Childhood
amazing.
best
Yeah,
friend.
yeah.
Yeah, we were 13 years old when we met, and we've been best friends since. So it's been great. I know they say like, oh, don't get into business with friends, but I feel like if you guys have the same values, you guys can communicate, you guys can talk through things, that is possible to do.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm doing tennis nerd partly with one of my best friends who's helping with the website, you know.
Yeah.
And that's great because you really trust the person. And if you
Absolutely.
do, even if you have a good feeling about someone, it's always easy to get into some problem down 6 months when things change in the company. So I rather do a thing with someone I really trust than to just have a stranger or someone that you.
Of course. And like just winging it with her is always so fun. Because like last year when we were still in beta and just testing things out, we were literally just sneaking into like events and parties together that we couldn't get into because we weren't tennis cool enough.
Yeah.
And I would just start a story to like distract security or something to get in. And she would just jump right into the story, like not even second guessing. She would just be like talking about it, and then we'd get into it without being on a guest list or anything.
No, that's cool. That's like you go back in school time, you know. It's like this.
Yeah.
We're sneaking in. Yeah, that's nice. Kind of part of the brand then also. It's like kind of in the story. Then if you want to make it fun, you have to kind of
Fun
make it
and
fun.
playful, and it was all in good, good humor.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
That's the
so-
way to do it. And it's orange, which I like because Tennis Nerd is also partly orange. Now we're gonna open the box, see what it is.
I brought you a box cutter.
Oh, nice. Is this
Nicole-
something I can take on the plane?
I don't know,
No, I'm joking.
but if I have to take you out of TSA, please let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, TSA you shouldn't mess with. I know that.
So this is very important to us, like an unboxing experience.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in tennis, they just put it in this like one use, and it's like, here you go.
Yeah, very few brands do it. Like there are some brands where I've had like rackets or strings where it's like wow, you know, but it's usually brands that are new on the scene because like the heritage brands they don't try to innovate. They're just like, well, here you go, you know. It's like
Yeah.
a €60 cost product that is now 100.
Yeah.
Well, now $300 usually, right? So
Yeah, for us,
Nice.
it's more so vibrant, fun colors.
yeah, I've seen your Instagram that Nicole is designing, like, and she's like, this color combination is really like vibrant and
Thank you.
says something about the brand in itself, right? And then you have a mascot as well.
That's Richie.
Richie
Richie.
the Tiger, right?
Yes, Richie the Tiger. And Nicole and I are just very into the zodiac signs. And so that's our zodiac sign. And it came naturally because like on the court, anytime I play better when I'm angry.
Yeah, well, I know.
Way better when I'm angry. And then Kristen, actually, who you met,
Yeah.
she was like, it's like you unleash a tiger. And I was like, and I went back to Nicole and I was like, I think we need a tiger mascot. And I said, because I've been told that several times. And so we created Richie, and
She drew this?
yeah.
Oh, okay. She's very
I was
talented.
on the couch with her as she drew it because she was like, I think we need to hire a graphic designer
No, you don't
to
need
like
that
do
then.
it. I was like, no, Nicole, I believe in you. We're going to sit here. We were watching Euphoria. And I was like, let's do it. I did no help of that other than, yeah, fill in here or whatever. That's my part and that's about it. But she did it all and added the little bow. And it has an emerald ring, but you can't really see it.
No, but that's for you as well, right? That's the part of the
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
things that are hidden,
But that's our tagline right there. Feel good, have fun, play happy.
which is what people should do. But it's also kind of bringing out your inner tiger. I think is something people struggle with in tennis in general.
Yeah.
And it's so important. Like I struggle personally with that. Sometimes like feel like it's silly to get too competitive, but you play much better when you get competitive.
Of course.
Like, yeah.
You
So
saw today in Dinkles.
yeah. No, but you need to kind of push it a bit, and then otherwise you're like being like friendly, you know, like it's this.
Yeah.
So I think everybody should try to work on their inner tiger without being like too competitive and cheating and stuff. Like you can find a balance, you know.
You don't have to be like friendly competitiveness is so healthy. But once you pass that line where those kinds of things happen, as you mentioned, then it's like, why are you on the court? Because this is no longer fun.
Yeah.
And if it's not fun for me at this point in this stage of my life, I'm not doing it.
No, same. I think this is maturity, right? Oh, it's cool. I like orange. This is my.
We're tennis nerds.
I am a tennis nerd, and I'm like, oh, here we go. So this is you. So this is merch, right? You're
This
not selling
is merch.
this.
Yeah, we are selling it.
Oh, you're selling it as well.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, cool.
this
Then
is merch
then it's
as
good to
well.
know. But like you focus on accessories for now. Who knows what you get into in the future? But so we have a grip band, over grip, and here. This is really cool packaging because it's quite un-tennis, and I think that was the whole point. So these are the dampeners, feel
They're
good dampeners.
match boxes
Yeah,
because you play a match.
yeah, that's cool.
That's a very big matchbox. So we developed these with a sports psychologist's help. So everything triggers happy thoughts. So it's vibrant colors because, as you know, that there's a color wheel and each one gives you a different feeling. So we picked all the ones that give you happy feelings.
And you have the nice, like the court kind
That's
of
a
view.
tennis court. Yeah. And for us, it was just very important to like make sure everything on there was positive reinforcement because you're on that court by yourself. So it's like, well, why don't we put things where it could be friendly reminder on the court? So that's how we developed everything.
Nice.
So you'll
Yeah,
see
the
it on
packaging is
different-
important. I'm a big fan of packaging. I'm gonna show it to the camera and see
And
that
it's
it's
reusable. So
Oh yeah.
yes, it is. You can put anything.
There we go. Feel good over grip. That's what we want to do on the court.
This is our first first drop. So we're going to develop more depending on what the majority of people want next. If they want a more tacky grip or if they want a less tacky grip. So this is our in-between grip.
Well, I really like I'm extremely picky with grips, so I was worried.
You were worried?
I was worried I was like I'm not gonna like it, but it was because that happens with products. You know, like okay, but it's for
Yeah.
someone else. It's not just for
Of
me. You know,
course.
but this had a tackiness that I liked. You know, and I tried it today when we played Dingles. Sadly, with a racket I can't show, but I will grip some other rackets as well. And what's in here?
Those are the dampeners. So this one, let me help you with my...
You have the nicer nails than I have.
The nails that need a fill.
Yeah, they're nice though.
So these are all, these are the lucky gems that we have. So little lucky charms on the court. So anybody that's been seeing the products say that it just automatically makes them happy. And that's been what we've been rolling with. All the stuff that makes people happy. It makes us happy.
And also, these don't bend out. Like sometimes dampeners, they bend the strings and these look a bit more thinner, which I like, you know, they don't push too much bend on the strings.
Yeah, no, we took a year to develop all of the products. We were in testing for an entire year. It was very costly.
Yeah, of course.
Each time you're testing something new or adjusting,
the factory has to do a lot of work and it's going to cost money, right?
A lot of money.
Yeah.
It is a lot of money. And
it's good to know for people who are like, oh, I want to start. Well, it doesn't have to be tennis, but it's like, it's not a joke to start if it's not something that's already like, it's a finished mold and you just put your brand. But this, if you're trying to do R&D, that's where the money comes. That's also for big companies, the money.
Of course. This is literally every single thing that I needed to remind myself on the court.
I'll do this again. So inhale, this is something I need to do as well.
And the behind says exhale.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it's an inhale, exhale, behind on the back. The back says exhale.
Yeah. Which we all need to do. And that's when the breathing starts becoming tough. That's when you start playing very badly, right? If you're tight, everybody knows. Here and now, you need to be present when you're playing tennis. That's very important. And let's see what the blue one is. I cannot guess. And then maybe the most important, really. Have fun.
Because a lot of people forget it. And the inspiration for have fun came, the number one thing I would hear Shelton, Goff, anytime they won a tournament was, what did you do different? You know, they all asked that question. And they said, I had fun.
Yeah. They were in a good mood.
Yes. And the second that I had fun is when the game changed, when everything felt better, when everything flowed and everything. So that was what was very much important, because you get into the competitive side of things and you forget to have fun. But you can have fun while being competitive.
I think this is the balance where it's the toughest to strike. It's where you're focused and you're attentive to your game and you're in the zone, but you're also having fun, you know, you're not, because that can also feel like work, you know, like now I'm working because I have to dial in this emotion, right? But there is a balance where you can actually have fun and then you're playing your best, probably, I would say.
Of course. And then there is that quote that says, find something you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And I think it was just taking those small little reminders that we'll forget the second that you get onto the court. And it's like, what happened to my forehand? What happened to my backhand? Where did my serve go? And it's like, okay, why don't we take it down, break it down a bit, and then look at what needs to be. Oh, these were the other ones you missed.
Oh, yeah, there were other ones.
These
cool. I will show them as well.
These are my favorites.
Yeah, I saw them on your racket today.
Yes.
The Radical MP. Yeah, these are equally important because
they're auras. So it was like the aura, these are called the aura gummies because they're like gummy bears.
I can eat them.
Yes, but don't eat them. And we made sure to put on the box, this is a choking hazard.
Is that
do
like
not consume products, danger of choking.
You have to put that, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Especially in the States, you know,
Absolutely.
Otherwise people will start eating them and they will sue you, so.
Absolutely. So it was very important to put it on here.
But this is good. These are so I mean, especially like, younger people play tennis can really get a negative. And did you stop at like when you had your injury with your wrist? You stopped playing that now, or is it 16?
I did, and then I started playing again in college. I played D1 college, and I hated the experience with all of my soul. And I quit that team after a year and then was playing open tournaments and doing USTA, but it was like one injury after another.
Yeah.
And it was just, not understanding that my body needed to heal properly and how to do all of the things that I needed to do beforehand all the things I do now, that
Yeah.
if I had it back then it would have been way different. I think coming back from the initial injury of my wrist, like I would have probably been able to play, but I didn't have that. And then I really do believe that because I was in such a dark place with tennis, that also, you know, put a strain on my game tremendously, which led to the injuries. And I think in a way that I needed to just be away from tennis completely for 10 years.
I think it's not like you're not the only person I talked about that kind of journey, but it's also when you're stressed in your head and stressed mentally, your body will start like almost like making up injuries. It's like, yeah, you know, that is what happens because you're under stress. So this like you will get sick, things will happen. You will like have aches and pains and muscle problems and so then you need to kind of step away, probably take some breathing.
That's how this came about.
And the issue with tennis as a sport, as most people watching know, is that tennis is a sport where you need like a lot of repetition, and like people overdo the repetition because they think, okay, without 10,000 hours or whatever, you know, the magic number is, I'm never going to be a good player. But you also need to give your body time to rest and breathe. And today you had some really cool gadget on for your ankles, right?
The compression boots.
Compression boots. They looked really cool, and that's something like when you start being a bit more mature and you start understanding the body and what you need to do, then you can figure out like I need that gadget, or I want to, you know, get this proper warm up instead of just rushing on the court and being late and then start playing and then you get injured again, right?
Yeah, I learned the lesson, and again, studying kinesiology, I knew better.
Yeah.
But you know, you still will get on and still make those mistakes that you learned.
We all do that, yeah.
Yeah. You open this. This is for your Malaga trip.
Oh, okay. Okay, now I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, the second sure is. It's for your Malaga.
I don't want to go back to Malaga now. I'm happy in LA, but okay. All right. This is nice. And
that's for the Billie Jean King Cup.
Ah, that's great, actually.
Yes.
That's very good. I'm going for the US game.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
you're gonna see Michael Joyce.
Yeah, oh, he's gonna come there with Ashley.
I would assume because
and I'll message him. He's a super good guy. Yeah.
She is subbing for Pagula.
She's good. She's a good player. No, I never been to Billie Jean Cup, and
this is your first time.
Yeah, and they have Davis Cup the week after. I've been to that, but the bag manufactured people I know, they're not from LA. I don't remember exactly. ADV. They make some nice tennis bags. Like the guy we played with today, Brody. He had one of those, and we started talking about that one. Yeah. So those are the guys who are coming to Marbella, not only to see me, but they wanted to go to Billie Jean King Cup. So very nice.
More orange for you.
Yeah. Well, orange I like.
That's
can have enough orange.
This is the one we tested at US Open. And I don't know if you saw that story where I told Nicole, I was like, we need to just go and see, because before we like go into full production, we do a little bit of testing by just wearing it out and seeing how people react. That's how we went on the tone on tone and the color orange, because we did that at US Open and people just kept stopping us and they were like, what is Richsport? We're like, we can't tell you yet, but here's our contact. And keep in touch. So with this, we went to US Open this year. And I said to Nicole, I said, let's just put them on. And it was, again, like, wasn't done. And walked in there and it was nonstop. People asking, where can I get that shirt? Where can I get it? Can I buy it? And then we were watching something and a lady comes up and she takes her phone and she goes like this. And I'm like, what is going on? And I was trying to like talk to her to tell her, oh, it's our company. And she just like went like that and she walked away and she whispered into the person that she was with in their ear and showed the phone with the thing. And I told Nicole, I said, we just got pirated. And she was like, you think? I was like, Nicole, I was like, we just got pirated. There was no other reason. Like, she's gonna
you wouldn't even say anything, right?
Of course.
Makes sense.
So I said, we need to leave now. I said, we're doing a photo shoot in the Uber because it was an hour to get back to our hotel. We did a photo shoot with the shirts in the Uber, which you can see on the website. And contacted our lawyer and I was like, trademark this right now. Like, no questions asked. Got him to trademark it. And then we launched it on our website while we were at US Open. We were like, we weren't going to launch this until we were back, but we're going to do it as a pre-order drop. So that's how that happened.
Wow. But I think that's, I mean, we live in a time where this stuff happens, and you have to be,
Yeah.
you can't maybe be too paranoid, but you have to be aware that this can happen, you know, and especially in a time where Amazon, like what happened to my friends, so we're running another company
Yeah.
where they produce stuff, they get copied all the time, you know,
course.
like, and you need to think of lawyers, you need to think of like, how can I IP this, you know, this is
Yeah.
sadly how the world we live in. So it was thinking on your feet there, I think, yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Entrepreneur 101. It's
Yeah.
just been, this is my first time doing products. Obviously, I've been doing entrepreneurship for a while, but the first time with like actual
Physical
products,
stuff
like
people
this
can
is,
buy, yeah.
yeah,
It's a different
CPG is
thing.
a different world.
Yeah.
Like, I listened to the podcast, what's it called? How I Built This by Guy Raz.
Yeah, yeah, I
That's
know the one.
literally all I listened to. So I learned throughout. And I said, when I saw what had happened, I said, the lawyer right now. That's it. So
Yeah,
that's,
it's important to like be ready. I mean, even if you're not right, it's better to be safe than sorry. So, you know, you're like,
yeah.
and it did sound like something that could, yeah.
Yeah. And the thing
Backfire.
is, like, at the same time, are they still going to do it? Absolutely. But we would like the support from the community that we've been building to say, hey, even though this person has it for like way cheaper, 70% off, which the quality will never be the same.
No,
That's
of
the
course.
thing. Anytime you're going to rip off another brand that actually did the original and actually took time and thought into like picking and sourcing, we would want them to say, you know what, even though it's going to be cheaper, we want the quality of Richsport, or we want to support the
Yeah.
girls and their story.
Because also you've been very open with your like backstory, founders, etc., which I'm a big fan of transparency. I think it's like when I work for bigger corporations, that's what they always lose quickly, right? Like, is that, well, we're a team. These are the guys behind, or like the people behind the company. And if you don't have that, you lack that trust, and that people actually want to support you. But you know,
Yeah.
so that's really cool.
Yeah, it was just important to us. And like we tell the story, because I said it's a very unique story of two childhood best friends just putting together, not the childhood best friends part, but like, you know, two different backstories, and then putting together a company where you're just like, you know what, we want to make a difference. We're not ready for investors because we don't want investors to come in and,
Yeah.
you know, what investors do.
If you can avoid investors, you should always avoid investors.
Absolutely.
That's
So
my
we're
strategy.
holding on for dear life, funding any way possible. And then we just got picked up in our first retailer,
Very cool.
sporting goods retailer. So we're very, very excited. He was actually one of the ones that brought in On into
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so serious stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so he's in Baltimore. So it's called Hollowbird Sport.
Yeah, they're pretty big. You
Yeah.
see them in tennis, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty big. Yeah.
So he reached out and was like, let's get Richsport in, and he was our first one. But that shipment that we sent over, that I did insure, because that was the number one thing people kept saying. Did you insure it? And I was like, of course I did. UPS lost our entire package.
Oh.
Thousands of dollars worth of merchandise.
Oh no.
Gone. It made it to Baltimore and never got off of the bus. And then I had a mentor who was like, that's going to happen more than you think. And the second that it happens, you just send the shipment right away. You do not even wait to see if it's going to, she was like, it's most likely not going to get there.
No.
But you need to send it right away. So it was a hard send the next day.
Yeah.
After that conversation with her, she was like, go. I don't want to hear it. You need to send it. So we had to send it. That was brutal, and I couldn't cry anymore. I've cried enough.
Yeah, you're like out of tears. It's like, that's
I'm
done.
out of tears. Now
Yeah.
we laugh. And Nicole sees the second that I go into, it's uncontrollable laughter, because it's like, what else are you supposed to do, Nicole?
Yeah.
The more I laugh, she knows the situation is that much worse.
Yeah.
Where before it was crying.
Now it's just like
Now you laugh.
resignation of some kind, you know. You're like, okay. I mean, it always turns out okay. I mean, not always, but often turns out okay. But it's like that. You're gonna be a lot of bumps in the road, and I think for anyone in starting a company, it's like you gonna have to wear your seatbelt on, because you're gonna get hit a few times. You know, it's how it is.
The airbags have not come out yet
No.
to brace us, but it has been quite the road.
A bumpy one, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, no matter what you're doing, you can't be prepared for the unexpected. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. The only thing that you can be prepared with is your attitude of
Yep.
to say, you know what, okay, how do we solve this? What are we gonna do? And I think a lot of that goes back to my tennis skills in when being down like 5-0, and it's like, what were you doing? Were you sleeping this entire time? Like, how are we going to come back now? And just like figuring out on the court, how am I going to come back? And it's the same with this. We got pirated, Nicole. We got to go into the taxi and or the Uber and do a photo shoot.
Yeah.
It came out cool. I really liked it.
Exactly. These things usually turn out for the better because you had to use like gut instinct and then really be, thinking on your feet and then it's like, spontaneous stuff. You don't overthink it, right? You just do it.
Yes.
Really cool. Like, I wish you the best of luck. It's a great backstory.
Thank you.
Really like the grip. Haven't tried the dampener. It looks good, so I think I would like that too.
Case.
I will.
Breathe stays on, and then
I need this. So when I play tennis, I need these things. So for me, it's good.
Yeah. Chill is another that stays on because I have to chill. Or else I can get quite explosive on the court. And I have to remind myself.
I watched back some footage earlier, like a quick. You threw in some swear words there. I like that.
No, you weren't.
I might. If you want, I edit it out. But it was like, for a few. No racket throws, though, so all good.
Okay. The only reason I'm no longer sponsored. Not that should have been an excuse to be like, throw your $300 racket. But now, if I even when I have to go into like a deep, like if I'm getting a deep drop shot or a slice or something, and then the scratch happens, and then I remember what I paid for that racket, and then looking at it, the reminder, I did it once, and it's there to remind me forever. My one racket has not a scratch. It has some scratches, but not like
the scratches you will get, so you can't avoid it.
But that racket, and I will look back, and I was like, what were you doing, Sarah? Yeah. What were you doing? So,
I broke a racket like 8 days ago, so I'm no better.
It feels so good.
It was necessary. Let's say like that. It had to be done,
I spoke to Juju Olmos, and who we're working with her for Billie Jean King Cup and Team Mexico. We actually have the shoot tomorrow, and she told me about a time that she broke her racket, and they did it in like private. It was I forgot which was it, US Open? It was either US Open. No, it was Wimbledon. It was Wimbledon. And she told me, she was like, I annihilated that racket. And she was like, it's never about that day. She goes, it's an accumulation. Yep. And then you're finally like, let me.
Exactly. It's an accumulation of emotion, right? And it could even be tennis not related to your tennis.
Yeah.
It's just something that it's just been boiling, and in my case it was just like I've been testing a billion rackets and now I'm playing matches and I couldn't find any kind of like the court even, and then the racket had to go, and then I felt like strangely better, but then people are looking, so it's like there was a lot of people there, so it happens,
That's so much better. I promise you, one of the racket companies should just make one for the days you want to break a racket.
Yeah, it's cheaper. Your break racket.
Here's one that we give you that you can just break, so one of them should do that for sure.
Yeah, it can be a cathartic moment you have to have, and then because I think if you're Andrei Rublev, but few people like lose their cool so much that if you're breaking a racket, it kind of stops the like building negativity, right? Like you're stopping that, and you're like, it's like the relief, like okay, it's done.
Yeah.
Now we need to focus, and that's why you see players do it, because then they will. I mean, kids don't break your rackets, but that's what happens. Yeah, exactly. You should have one. Break your racket.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Like a lot of people put such a negative connotation behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do breath work, and which is somatic healing.
Yeah. I know that one. My friends do that.
Yeah. So part of it, a lot of them will have you, if you're in a breath work session, they'll have you just scream and stomp and like release, and it's like. I feel it's the same thing.
Screaming feels pretty good. Like you can do that. I mean, it's probably better than breaking your rackets and cheaper, but it can be disconcerting for the people, even more than the breaking of the racket, like on the other courts.
But
I've screamed quite a few times on a tennis court,
Yeah, but they won't say
big
that
lungs,
for other sports. But if you do it as a tennis player, you're shunned or looked
down. It's true. Tennis has this issue, like you have a shot clock, and the crowd has to be silent, and it's like it's so manufactured into this experience, and like you're not really allowed to be human, right? It's not supposed to be played by humans. You're supposed to be kind of a robot, right?
Exactly. And I'm not saying disrespect your opponent or disrespect fans or anything, but you are allowed to have a meltdown. And it's like, I feel like it's even worse when it's a female having the meltdown, because it comes
probably
down to dramatizing, everything is so dramatical, and everything that they do behind the female is like, I feel 100 million times
Yeah.
worse.
No, it's true. It's true. It's like, but you need people to be athletes, and being a professional athlete is like a really tough thing to be. You know, you have to give
Yes.
women or men, right? It's like a thing.
Yeah.
You have to be able to be an athlete
Yeah.
with all the things that come into play. Just gonna show. Here we go. Yeah, I love that. Also, that is they're different sizing. I think it's really cool because it creates this kind of like the fun experience, you know.
Perks of having your partner be a designer.
Yeah,
A very
yeah. Well,
talented designer.
but you need to complement each other, right? So you need to have like different skills. If you're two designers, maybe that's not the best way to start a company. Right?
Our skills are completely opposite.
Yeah.
So like she'll do a lot of the art direction for photography, and then I'm behind the videos of storytelling and.
Yeah, you're more of a marketing person in that sense. Yeah,
I never thought I was one until obviously this and
skills come out.
entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Skills come out, like, and you find things that are fun. And also, when you're building your own brand, it's more fun than building other people's brands, which
Way more fun.
Which is very, very different experience. You know,
Yeah.
Nobody ever feels as behind like a corporation than your own company.
Of course. And I think just like the everyday aspect of learning something new. There is something learning every single day.
Yeah.
Especially like when you're funding it completely and you learn all the expensive things, the expensive lessons, then you're like, I'm never going to make this mistake ever again.
No. Yeah, because everything costs, right? Like everything, same, I'm running my own business, right? It's like you make stupid stuff happen, then you pay for it. Like there's no, when you're working for a corporation, like you can get away with a lot of stuff, you know, not working, you know, overdoing your budget, whatever, you know. It's just like company forgives you usually, so.
Of course, whereas it's
here it hurts a bit more.
It does hurt because it's going straight through all my savings accounts.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Which was brutal.
It is brutal.
It's worth it.
What do you think is in the future for you guys? I mean, you have the Billie Jean King Cup, but do you see like more products? You see the brand expanding, more apparel, or where's your head without telling too many secrets? You know?
For us, honestly, we've just been a very open book, and I think that's where you gain the trust of people and what we're expecting to do and what we're doing. Of course, we like a little bit of the secretive stuff.
Some mystique is nice, yeah.
Yes, but to be quite honest, we want to continue to expand with products and merch. We have fun with merch. It's not...
Everybody loves merch. I think it's a thing that's quite important, you know, because you show... It's like everybody wants to belong somewhere, and this is a way of showing your personality. It's like tennis or pickleball or whatever. Like you want to be part of like this is your identity, you know, and this is my group, my tribe of people, you know. So that's important. Yeah.
It's important, and I think we want to just do a lot of fun pop-up events, installations, things that haven't been
That seems
done.
on brand, yeah.
Very, very different. We do have a couple things in talks as we speak for 2025, so we're very excited for that. And, you know, a collab of some sort of maybe with a racket company would be amazing because we want to pimp out the rackets. We really do. We want to add the sparkle, add the fun. And a lot of them are missing with that.
Yeah.
When we're like, we can make it better. Like, especially when you'll see next week, we're going to be posting before and afters of rackets. My head radical MP did not look like that.
Yeah.
And I've gone viral several times on TikTok because of my racket. The #1 comment is, what is that racket? And then I'll look and see other people that are using the head radical MP not pimped out with Richsport accessories, and the comments speak for itself. So would be ideal if it would be head, since that's the racket I absolutely love. And Nicole uses a head as well. She uses, what's hers called? It's the green and yellow one.
Oh, the Extreme, yeah.
The Extreme.
That also works with this kind of extreme. I think head in this case, I mean, knowing head pretty well and the guys behind it, like it's one now they're doing like a little bit more aggressive colorways, which I think really works a lot with your brand.
Yes.
While some other brands play it a lot more safe, you know. So and then this, like, it's still clean, but the colors are more interesting, right? You know, it's not like just full of numbers and the letters and stuff that can be a bit more overwhelming and difficult to pimp maybe as well.
Yeah, and all of our accessories are meant to mix and match.
Yep.
So everything's mix and match your mood. If you feel like you woke up today just unfocused, then you put on the focus dampener, and then you can put on whichever grip band that you want. Maybe you need to focus and be present here and now, which you could do. So it's like all meant to be mix and match. But we also do a lot of the give back So 1% of our proceeds will be going to nonprofits, and every
cool.
single
Very good.
month we donate generously to nonprofits making tennis more accessible for all. So we're hoping by next year we can have our nonprofit, because we want to have an enrichment program, which the play on
Yeah,
rich.
I get it. Yeah.
So just in case someone else didn't, but it was just, that's really
Very
what we
good.
would truly
I like
wanna
that.
do.
I think it's very important that companies give back, you know, and there's some real give back, not just for tax purposes, also like most
No.
bigger corporations.
No, I go on. I was I went with the kids at Sloan Stephens Foundation. That
Yeah.
was when we first launched, and I spent the time with the kids and talked with the kids and gave them advice, and then went and did another one where I played with those kids. And so it's not a whole, here you go, I'm shipping it off. It has to deal with, I want to be able to see what the organizations are doing as
That's
well.
very important, yes.
And be able to just be a part of it. And, you know, usually they'll ask me to talk to the kids and give advice, whether it's in regards to tennis or business. And, you know, being able to do that aspect. And I told Nicole, I said the most fulfilling thing has been seeing the kids, like, just excited. And we don't just, here you go, here's a sample of whatever. It's like create an unboxing, and I gift them all from, I do the packaging all from scratch. So it's me in my apartment and it's turned into a warehouse.
Yeah, well, that's how it is, you know.
Yeah, it's insane what it looks like.
What does Sol say about all the boxes? She's not a cat, so.
Listen, she's not happy that it took away a part of her zoomies, because she has zoomies.
Yeah, she wants to spin around, you know.
Yeah, so that part she's not happy with. But
Like, if she was a cat, she would be very happy. She was like sleeping in all the boxes, so when they open.
Yeah, she's technically, her demeanor is very much like a cat, but very active like a dog.
Yeah, so that's nice. That's cool. No, it's amazing. I mean, best of luck for the rest of the journey. I will keep following it. I will also try your products and put them in the racket. So that's amazing. And we're gonna keep in touch and see how it unfolds. You know. Oh no! Now I have to do this on camera.
I'm making him eat Susie cakes, which is...
I'm trying to be healthy, you know. Everybody knows this, although it's
a muffin
half false.
is not healthy, and
I know. This trip has not, like, I've been posting on Instagram because my friends told me, can you unbox this for me? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to not be so healthy this US trip. But I don't snack, so that's pretty good. Sorry?
You can't come to LA and not eat out.
No, I've been eating plenty. I've been eating in and out. I've been eating all kinds of food, but it's been good. Loving it, LA. It's great food and everything. So this is something that's been around for a while, or it's quite new?
This has, and I always, this is not it.
Yeah, don't cut yourself. Yeah, we don't want any cupcake-related injuries here.
I got you that one because I want the mocha one.
Yeah.
Because I asked the lady, I said, if somebody that's never had Susie cakes before, which one do they try?
All right.
And they said the staple. So I'm making you do a mukbang.
Yeah. This is not as bad as like Nicocado avocado, so I think it's okay. You know what that is?
Who is that?
It's like a famous YouTuber. So he was just eating, and I mean, it was hard to watch. I haven't watched a lot of videos, but he's pretty famous. He has like a few million followers. But now he showed, like, the latest thing was that he showed up from nowhere and lost like 200 pounds. And he had like been posting videos that was pre-recorded while he'd been losing all this weight. So he did, like, in one video, he's just like a completely different, like, it's insane, the transformation. Yeah? So this would be me now. My transformation would be the other way. I'll be like 300 pounds, you know? Mm-hmm. Okay. I got you.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm. You're really health conscious. Like, I've seen all your cooking stuff, and you make everything by hand, and you're quite. But then you can cheat a bit as well sometimes, you know?
Indulge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't cheat, I indulge.
True.
But it's like, for me, it's my creative outlet, cooking and making things from scratch. Because for me, I can't just doing the packaging and then doing like the computer work, which I'm a very active person. Like, it is a lot for me.
Yeah.
And the ADHD aspect of things, like, I can't just, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So having the creative outlet of cooking and just being in the kitchen for like 45 minutes and looking in my cabinets and figuring out what am I going to make. Because when you're stressed, you crave sugars and things like that.
Just
And
to
when
keep
you-
going. You know?
Yes, and when you have them, they actually make it worse, especially when you're someone like me with ADHD, where you're going to deal with that sugar high, and that's the worst thing you could do for it.
Yeah.
So I came up with the alternatives, and honestly, every single thing. And when my friends see that I posted to stories, they're like, "Save me some."
Yeah.
And-
No, all looks. I mean, I've written to you like multiple times about
Yeah.
like this is exactly what I need. You know, like this kind of food where it's like I really like the clean eating aspect of what you do make. Right? It's just great. You know.
But I don't sacrifice flavor, so it's still good.
No, but you use spice and stuff like that, so which is much better. you know.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Sarah. Anytime you want to jump on and talk tennis or Richsport or whatever, you're welcome. Right?
Thank you. We'll talk Billie Jean King Cup when
Yeah.
we're back.
And don't forget to play some tennis.